and inside an upstairs bedroom, 2 people had lost their lives. One was a stranger lured there through the internet. The other was a pediatric nurse who never realized the danger was already living inside her own home. The child was downstairs the entire time again. According to court records, investigators uncovered an alleged plot built on deception, obsession, and betrayal. At the center of it all was Brendan Banfield, a former IRS agent living in Herndon, Virginia. His wife, Christine, and the family's young Brazilian au pair, Juliana Perez Magalhães. What began as an affair would eventually spiral into one of the most disturbing courtroom cases Virginia had seen in years. And the most unsettling detail of all was how carefully everything had allegedly been planned. Let's uncover it. Chapter 1. The Perfect Family. To outsiders, the Banfield household appeared stable. Brendan Banfield had once worked as a federal agent. Christine Banfield worked long shifts as a pediatric ICU nurse, caring for critically ill children. Together, they were raising their young daughter in a quiet Virginia suburb. Then, in 2022, Juliana Perez Magalhães entered their lives as the family's au pair. She was young, far from home, entrusted with helping care for the Banfield's child. But according to court records, Brendan and Juliana soon began a secret relationship behind Christine's back. At first, investigators believed it was simply an affair, but messages later recovered from phones and online accounts painted a far darker picture. According to prosecutors, Brendan allegedly told Juliana he wanted to get rid of his wife. Divorce, he allegedly claimed, would cost too much money and risk custody of their daughter. And then, investigators say a plan began to form. According to court records, a fake online profile was allegedly created in Christine's name on FetLife. The profile allegedly invited strangers into a dangerous fantasy scenario. One man responded. His name was Joseph Ryan, and he had no idea he was stepping into a trap. Chapter 2. The Man at the Door. More suspenseful, slow breaths between lines. On February 24th, 2023, Joseph Ryan arrived at the Banfield home believing he had been invited there consensually. According to investigators, the fake messages allegedly instructed him not to stop, even if someone appeared resistant. What Joseph Ryan did not know was that the woman he believed he was meeting had never written those messages. At some point that evening, chaos erupted inside the home. 911 calls flooded emergency dispatch lines. When officers arrived, they found Christine Banfield had lost her life inside an upstairs bedroom. Joseph Ryan had also passed away after weapons were allegedly discharged inside the house. The Banfield's 4-year-old daughter was found downstairs, physically unharmed. Brendan and Juliana told investigators a horrifying story. According to court records, they claimed Joseph Ryan had forced his way inside the house, allegedly carried out the attack against Christine, and was then confronted in self-defense. But investigators quickly noticed something unsettling. There were no signs of forced entry, and the digital evidence was beginning to tell a completely different story. Chapter 3. The Digital Trail. According to prosecutors, phone records, online messages, and forensic evidence began dismantling the couple's version of events piece by piece. Investigators allegedly discovered communications connected to the fake FetLife account. They also uncovered evidence suggesting Joseph Ryan had been manipulated into believing the encounter was consensual role play. What initially looked like a random act of violence was now being reframed as something far more calculated. According to court records, prosecutors argued that Brendan Banfield allegedly orchestrated the entire scenario, using an unsuspecting stranger as part of a deadly setup designed to eliminate his wife while creating confusion for investigators. And then came another detail prosecutors believed revealed motive: insurance policies, finances, custody concerns. The prosecution argued that Brendan allegedly viewed divorce as too expensive, too risky, too damaging to the life he wanted to maintain. But the most haunting revelation would emerge months later, long after the police tape had disappeared. Chapter 4. The Replacement. Quiet, heavy, disturbing calm. 8 months after the incident, a photographer documenting evidence returned to the Banfield home. What they saw disturbed even seasoned investigators. According to reports presented in court, Christine's photographs had been removed from the home. In their place were pictures of Brendan and Juliana together, displayed beside the same bedroom where Christine had lost her life. Juliana had allegedly moved her clothing into Christine's closet. The transformation appeared almost immediate, as though one life had simply been replaced by another. Inside the courtroom, prosecutors described the case as deeply calculated and emotionally chilling. Brendan Banfield was ultimately convicted on multiple charges, including aggravated murder offenses and child endangerment, according to court records. Juliana later received the maximum sentence available in her plea agreement. And throughout every hearing, one detail lingered over the courtroom like a shadow. Their young daughter had been inside the home the entire time. Some cases disturb people because of violence, others because of motive. But this case unsettled investigators for a different reason entirely. According to court records, it was the alleged normalcy of it all. A quiet neighborhood, a respected career, a trusted caregiver. And behind closed doors, an alleged plan that slowly consumed everyone involved. Because sometimes, the most dangerous betrayals do not come from strangers. They come from the people already sitting at the dinner table. Do you believe Brendan Banfield carefully orchestrated the entire incident from the beginning? Or do you think there are still unanswered questions hidden inside this case? Subscribe to The Last Verdict, because every story is waiting to be discovered.